Namaste, this is New India Junction. I am Nivedita Tiwari. We have with us today a very special and distinguished guest. She is the preeminent ambassador of India's performing arts on the global stage. To me, she is the embodiment of the quintessential, the formidable, the beautiful feminine energy. We are talking about none other than Padmavibushan Dr. Sonal Mansingh. Dr. Mansingh was nominated by the President of India to Rajya Sabha in July 2018. She was also nominated as a Navaratna for Swachh Bharat Mission by the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. She is a Nrityangana par excellence, a guru, a motivational speaker, a choreographer, a social activist, and each of these roles she plays beautifully. She's also the founder president of Sri Kamakhya Kalapeeth, and she has trained several hundred students who are carrying the message of Indian culture globally. Dr. Mansingh, welcome to New India Junction. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Nivedita. Thank you very much. Entirely my pleasure to speak to such a intelligent, young, energetic, beautiful lady. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for those words. Ma'am, you've said that art and culture are the soul, the spirit, and the identity of a nation. How has the role of performing arts evolved in the Indian context over the years, say from 1947 onwards?
The spirit, the soul of India, I don't think has ever been imprisoned. That is why this land, the political boundaries may have changed and reshaped, but the land of India, Bharatavarsha, contains this soul which, despite repeated assaults, akraman, and destructions of its knowledge systems, of looting of its riches, raping and plundering, murdering and killing, conversions and whatnot. So, if the soul was not strong, and we say soul is everlasting, we say the body burns away, but soul never dies. And it is exemplified by this land that the soul has remained intact, as strong, as supple, as rich as it must have been at the time of creation. So 1947 to 2020 is such a small, minuscule period. But I think it raises a certain issue of diametrically different happenings. For example, Europe changed after the Industrial Revolution and then the First and Second World Wars. And now it's changing again during the pandemic. Speaking of India, Bharat, the changes that came were not all over India, maybe not in Northeast as it was in North, maybe not as much in South as in the North. So in different parts of India, the things changed. First 2 or 3 decades after this 1947, there was a lot of rejuvenation of spirit, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of pride in culture and renaissance. You know how many dance styles were discovered, how many music styles were discovered, how many new people were discovered. how many new caves and paintings and temples they were all. So while performing arts, they sort of came up and reached a peak. We were the celebrities, I remember, in 60s, 70s, 80s, and the first half of the 90s. The performing artists were the celebrities, musicians, dancers, and some theater people. There was no filmy thing. Then that sort of reached a plateau, and slowly you are now watching a very different picture. Now, there are many reasons, you know, and I know that the way we are conversing now itself is something that we would not have imagined even 15 years ago,
Yeah.
5 years ago, or even 10 years ago. So, the rise of a virtual world, so to say, technology, I call it virtual, Mayavi. It is, it is not tangible, it is not real. And that has, I think, brought out revolutionary changes. And it has not left any field, leave alone performing arts, it has not left any field untouched. But where performing arts of India are concerned, that is of huge concern to me, and I'm sure to you and to many people, that performing arts, A, are very ephemeral. They are like the bubble, you know, they are like the petals of a flower. You touch them too much and they wither away. But if you do not water the flower withers away. They are ephemeral, they are intangible. You cannot hold a dance in your hand, but you can hold your mobile in hand. You can hold a sculpture in hand. You can touch a painting. You can hold a book. You can hold a sari. You cannot hold a dance or a song in hand. So the wealth of India's oral traditions and art traditions, the interlinked arts, painting, sculpture, weaving, everything, while they may remain, the ones that manifest them may slowly wither away. That is the music and dance. And music and dance reside within the bodies of the performer. So the huge change that we are witnessing now, that we are all forced to adopt to a new, totally new scene scenario, which is not of our own making, which is not even of our liking, and which is pushing everyone in a unidirection. And that, to me, is the real danger. And all this is making also, I think, artists lazy. The audience is lazy because then there is a या ना कर लो कुछ कर लो अपना बेडरूम में कर लो कॉरिडोर में कर लो ड्राइंग रूम में कर लो of course there was no choice but now I wonder who will sponsor give money to the performers artists to perform if the auditoriums are not open when they open instead of 1,000 you can only have 500 or 400 and so anyway these are the large questions before us. And this is not going to happen. The solutions are not going to come like that. We'll have to wait patiently, working away, keeping ourselves afloat, so to speak. So I think that is the situation that I see now. But, and I don't want some of the artists to be disheartened. Freelance people find it very difficult. We are all freelancers. As many programs we get, I've just come back from the Standing Committee of Parliament on culture. Actually, 5 ministries, but I insisted that it had to be on culture.
Hmm.
And I spoke at length about all this. And I said, where are the artists?
Hmm.
You do not hear them being referred to anywhere.
Hmm.
The daily wage laborer, the MSME, the craftspeople, the weavers are all there. Kisan, of course.
Hmm.
Not a word anywhere about kalakar.
Hmm.
So nobody knows how many will give it up. Why should they? They'll go and do something else where they can earn immediate money. What will happen? I don't know. Anyway, let's be positive. Not corona positive, spirit, spirit positive.
Right. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan had said that India's genius was in getting the multitude interested in metaphysics. You often talk about the awareness of the body and the role of the body in dance, and the body and the embodied, and also how dance helps to transcend the body. What is the role of art and dance in Indian philosophy?
Well, the body is where the art is contained. Even if you're a singer, it's your throat within the body. For anything, for any politician has a brain. We all use hands and feet, and the body is used every day. How it is used and for which purpose, that makes all the difference. So, for India, the dance became the supreme vehicle to attain a kind of a level of existence which made you realize in a very nice, simple way, straight way, like an arrow, what the life was about, the riches of life, and where this life fits into the cosmic design. So it was always working at two levels, our Laukika, whether you call it metaphysics, whether you call it Adhyatma, you call it therefore spirituality arising from that, Adhyatmika, it's all the same. So the body is the vehicle, number one. Number two, how to use it. What all can body do to learn that? Balance, alignment, kinetic energy, so many things. And to create beauty. The purpose of body is to create beauty. Sundaram. From Sundaram, you go to Shiva. Shivam, that is good, auspicious, Mangal. With this body only Devadasis danced in temples. With this body we dance on stages. And with this body we perform all our duties. With this body we get married. With this body we bless. With this body we do everything. So this is Mangalakari. The body is Shiva. And from here then you may have a glimpse of Satya. Dance is for attainment. Attainment. You attain something. And what do you attain? You attain transcendence. You transcend your body. Now, how do you do that? You don't do it, you cannot do it consciously. If you're so conscious of your beauty, of your youth, of your talent, of your ability to do somersaults and chakkars and all that. No. When you are totally surrendered in dance, when you have surrendered to dance, then the transcendence happens. You may not be conscious of it. And that is what people remember for decades and centuries. Those moments become etched in history and in the minds of people. So then, who said that? I did not see dance for the dancer. The dancer was so overwhelming that people only saw the jewelry, the beauty, the this, that, and she was. So whatever she did, okay, they were only watching the dancer. And another one, therefore, has said, I did not see the dancer. I only saw the dance. I felt the dance. I heard the dance. I became one with dance. And that was a prekshaka, a rasika, another time. So that is what you mean. You mean to ask Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. And I will add this, the famous shlok from Bharatanaट्य Shastra. न तत् ज्ञानम न तत् शिल्पम न सा विद्या न सा कला न सौ योगो न तत्कर्म नाट्यस्मिन् यन्न दृश्यते. There is no art form, there is no sculpture, painting, no karma, no action, no yoga, which is not in the dance. Now, what more can there be?
You've spoken about shrinking space for debate and deliberation. While that is true, we also see an almost irreverent form of freedom of expression that is taking shape now. An expression that assumes freedom from all kind of responsibility. Where do you see the role of art education and artist lying in this context?
We imbibe, we borrow, and very easily imbibe uh, expressions which emanate from another culture. Freedom of expression, I'm sure you know, arose from the universities like Harvard in USA. Here, nobody talked about it. We have freedom of expression over centuries. If Valmiki wrote one Ramayana, he did not prohibit anyone from writing, discussing, criticizing Rama, Ramayana, anything. So come on, what are we talking about? I interpret Gita Govinda my way. It's my Radha, my Krishna. You express it in your own way. Jayadev is not coming to pull your ear. Thousands and thousands of commentaries on every word of Veda, of Upanishads are there. So first of all, therefore I say, Nivedita, that we should not even discuss things which are not emanating from our land,
Yeah.
from our culture, from our traditions, from our understanding. They don't belong here. When you say, for example, this intellectual property,
Hmm.
it's like putting a tax on the mind, on the brain. Huh? Did Meera ever say, without my permission, no song, otherwise you pay me? So it is so strange to me that how naive we can be, how gullible, that we fall into these traps like that. And then we debate and we discuss till the foam comes out of our mouth. People become violent. No freedom of expression. No. And saying that, they say horrible things. And nobody hangs them for that. So the other point, art education, is the important point. That it was, I think, a part of our daily upbringing. It was very much a part of our traditions, festivals. It was also part of the curriculum when I was in my Gujarati medium school in Bombay. And slowly it sort of went out. Because, again, as I say, the convent school education, the public schools, the air conditioned schools, there are schools which have classrooms, bathrooms, cafeteria, buses, everything air conditioned. and there are international schools, and of course, as I said, convent schools. And the role of parents or the family, the joint family, broke. Parents, one is working, both are working, there is no time. Festivals have become symbolic. Okay, जन्माष्टमी है तो मक्खन खाओ, ये खाओ, गणेश चतुर्थी मोदक खाओ, लड्डू खाओ, नवरात्रि है माँ 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 माँ, दिवाली है तो पटाखा मिठाई खाओ. What has happened? So there is art education, as art education in India has different meaning, has different dimension. What do you know about the vernacular? What, not vernacular, your own languages? How many of your generation, Nivedita, know their mother tongue so well and they can read, write, and think in their mother tongue? No. I'm sorry. How many read Sanskrit? How many can read Hindi? Why not? Because English. Because mother, yeah, yeah. So this inferiority complex has again come, Nivedita. It has slowly crept in again like a thief. And we do not understand that. CAT, SAT, everybody's preparing to go to America or Australia or Singapore or whatever. And I have been giving examples of young people in the past 6 months, uh, from the poorest of poor families in a village in Karnataka, somebody from Tamil Nadu, who who had to sell their mother's Mangal Sutra and whatever. One made drones, going to cyber cafe, walking 20 kilometers from his village to a cyber cafe in town. And then Delhi IIT competition, they say you are wonderful, but you have to go to Japan. How to go to Japan? And then how he collects money to go to Japan and changes 16 trains to reach the competition site because he doesn't have the money for the bullet train Hikari in Japan. And his thing is submitted. It has been already sent. But he has to be physically there. Prizes are being announced. Till the third place, his name is not announced. So he's very disappointed, in tears. He is going out of the gate of that huge place, and his name is announced. The first prize goes to Pratap from India. The Indian flag is going up, the Indian national anthem is being played, and Pratap cannot believe it. Prime Minister Modi hears about it, and he telephones him, congratulates him, invites him to Delhi. And with all respect, the 21-year-old boy gets a job in DRDO, one of the topmost defense establishments of India. Like that, another boy has now come up in the last 2 months. So many girls have come up. How does that happen? Without going to Australia, Singapore, USA, UK, Ivy League, nowhere. So I come back to your question, art education. Education of any sort can make you strong, can become your, what shall I say, sheet anchor, your pillar of strength in life. And look at you and young people like you. Art education assumes special importance because only the right brain should not develop, the left should develop also. The Purusha and the Prakriti, Shiva and Shakti. And therefore, the dancers are the strongest because our both sides are balanced. We think, we think mathematically when we perform. Come on, what is Sankirna Alaripu, Sankirna Triputa? How many matras? Tell me. Like that, mathematics. And the laya, the swara, dance education, art education, how it should be given, that is the problem. Today with contemporary dance, bobbing, hip hopping. I mean, what is this? It's okay. But all that is getting eyeballs, as they say, on television,
Yeah.
and except what is that? DD Bharati?
Yeah.
Where is art on any TV channel? Where? It's okay to Nivedita. I'm glad you bring it up, and I hope you have a good viewership and people think about it. Without art education, without art in their life of some sort, your life is incomplete. This bhi bekar hai. Yep.
No, ma'am, absolutely. I cannot imagine my life without art and literature and music. I just cannot. It is my refuge. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, makes a very strong pitch for Atmanirbhar Bharat. What do you think is the role of performing arts in building a self reliant India?
I think artists have been the epitome of Atmanirbharta. Especially, I come back to dance and music, Indian way. I don't need gym gear. I don't need any equipment. I don't need anything. Dance is within my body, dance is in my head, in my brain. I create. So Atmanirbharta is there. What more Atmanirbharta? I don't need anything. I am the giver, in fact. I am the giver. Artist is a giver. So I think Modi ji's this wonderful slogan is about time India realized. And it is, I think, more for awakening our own potential in certain fields, like defense and machinery, technology, IT, and all that. But where culture is concerned, we are Atmanirbhar. All that we need is appreciation in cash and kind.
As a child, I saw you perform in Ayodhya for a Spick McKay program, and I've been in awe ever since. You've been an icon for many of us. What would you like to say to the youth watching this conversation?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't say that I was young. I am young.
That's wonderful and
Yeah.
infectious.
Uh, the what you how you define youth, that kind of a physical youth counted in years slips away very, very fast. Even before you realize you're 50. And a lot of people say, oh my God, I'm 50. And I said, thank God I'm 50. Why not? Golden years are ahead. And indeed, golden years of new research, new thoughts, new energy, new vision, new understanding, new wisdom, new grace, new growth. I've experienced all that and I'm still experiencing it. People say, how you're always doing new things. Yeah, the tree gives new leaves, new flowers, new fruits. We are that tree. But unless your roots are deep in the soil of yourself and of your country, of your culture, your traditions, the tree will not grow. That is the catch. So, this is what I say to all the wonderful people who may be watching. A, never give up. B, every day is a new day. C, be a giver. And ABC, now D, do something beautiful each day. A thought, an act, a sentence. And number 5, be joyful, be joyous, because that creates the wonderful spandan, what do you call the waves of joy, anandam. And that is what is needed in our humdrum, mundane, everyday life. It's easy to become glum. It's easy to, but say, no, yeah, it happens to everyone, yes, but Yeah, I will do. Now, that is something that I admire. So I'm only sharing what I live. Okay?
Ma'am, those are words to live by. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for those words. It has been an honor to have you grace this platform. For more of these conversations, keep watching New India Junction. We'll see you soon.